kid, but it's not what everybody thought it was going to be when they're like, oh, get him in there. You got to play him. You got to play him over Tommy. Everybody's like, we'll see what happens here.
So. Well, I guess we'll see. I mean, it's a lot to. This offseason is going to be exciting. New head coach, new players, plenty of excitement. I can't wait until spring football gets here because KJ Costello doesn't come in until June. So whomever earns the starting job in the spring, you got to fend off KJ Costello. I mean, it's not your job until KJ Costello gets here. Hey, maybe he could have a Joe Burrow effect because Joe Burrow did not participate in spring practice his first year at LSU. Came in, won the starting job. Now, unfortunately, we only have 1 year with Costello. We all know what Joe Burrow did in year 2. Heisman Trophy, national championship winning quarterback. I don't think we're going to have that type of impact with KJ Costello as far as that type of impact. But I think it's going to be a culture change. Balls are going to be flying. Hopefully our receivers catch them for touchdowns and first downs. But now we're going to move on to the individuals that help solidify this class. The men who are going to be recruiting for our Bulldogs going further. And it's been quite a lot of clamoring and complaining about this staff. But our staff is finally complete. We brought over the Washington State offensive staff. And that includes Eric Millay, running backs, Mason Miller, offensive line, Dave Nickel, inside receivers, Steve Spurrier Jr., outside receivers. Stubbs, what do you think about this offensive staff?
I'm excited to see where the offensive staff goes, just because of the 2 wide receivers coaches. You got an inside and you got an outside because he doesn't run a tight end. That does intrigue me to see what happens to Brad Cumbus and Spivey. Do they lose weight? I mean, Cumbus isn't that big, but, do they play wide receiver? Do they transfer? The whole running backs thing, we'll see how that works out with Hill and all the incoming people. I think, truthfully, we haven't touched what you didn't touch on. I know you just did offense. I'm excited about the strength coordination, that whole squad that's coming here. Just seeing those videos and seeing the players talk about how they're just so whooped by, 8 a.m. I mean, that was a big thing we were missing last year. I mean, we were basically soft. We basically got too soft and too comfortable and were just chilling like we were in, Conference USA.
Right.
And we were not strong like an SEC team, like back in the day with Jackie Sherrill when we ran with the Iron Dogs.
Speaking of strength, the Leach Beach. I mean, I can't wait to hear stories about the Leach Beach for our Bulldogs. I mean, it's a tool of strength, helping players become stronger. And it's also going to be used for punishments. So can't wait to see that. We definitely going to need something like that. So all of the offensive staff came from Washington State, as well as much of the defensive staff came from Washington State. Washington State did not have a pretty good defense. Leach is not known as a head coach whose teams have good defenses. Coming over from Washington State, Matt Brock, special teams coordinator, outside linebackers, Darcel McBath, cornerbacks, and Jeff Phelps, defensive line. All were part of that Washington State staff. The only holdover from the former staff is the incomparable Tony Hughes, who's going to coach Nickelback and also be the associate head coach. But we know our coach Hughes is still there. He is there to help with recruiting. That is his specialty. James Washington was hired from Texas to coach the safeties. And our defensive coordinator, Zach Arnett, served as defensive coordinator and linebackers coach at San Diego State. And San Diego State had a pretty good defense. We're going to run the 3-3-5. Stubbs, don't that sound familiar? 3-3-5 defense.
Sounds like somebody I used to know that didn't wear socks on the sideline.
I mean, that defense sounds... That's the Jolie Dunn defense. Blitz, 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 blitz. That's what I want to see. I mean, I don't think he's going to run like Jolie Dunn did, but it's good to see that formation back in Mississippi State football. I mean, that's the defense I grew up with watching Mississippi State. I mean, that 3-3-5 defense with those dog safeties zeroing in on that quarterback, I mean, it was a thing of beauty.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'll tell you that. I mean, it's just funny how what we thought was going to happen for this third season of Moorhead and our defense that we were running to now we're going air raid and we're going 3-3-5. I mean, Arnett comes in. You saw what he did at San Diego State. His numbers were pretty stout. People are freaking out because they're thinking, it's the SEC, will this work? You know, we're doing something totally unconventional the SEC doesn't really ever see. We're air raiding and we're running a 3-3-5. So I'm excited. You know, some of the coaches they kept bringing in, they brought in the ones I liked from what I could see from Washington State. I love that we kept Tony Hughes, like you said. We knew we kept him. We keep the homeboys, the Mississippi local boys, basically here in the state. Grab them. Washington, you know, he fizzled out a little at Texas over time, but he was still a top-notch recruiter. That's still a great get, I think, right there. Arnett will be able to coach the linebackers. We see what he's done there. It's going to be interesting, like I said. And what sucks is we are like 8 months away from football. Like literally, I mean, I know we got baseball and we got basketball going on right now. We got other sports, but you know, the money bread is football, and now we're literally be sitting around hyped up, and we can't do anything for 7 months. And yeah, we got spring practice. We'll have fall practice, but it's not until September 5th. I think it's the very first game. You're literally 7 months away from football, or 8 months away, and it's driving me crazy already.
Yes, indeed. Now we're gonna touch on a topic that briefly, because I know you don't want to talk about too much. When we woke up this morning, we had our first controversy with our new head coach. Twittergate, as far as Coach Leach going at it back and forth with people on Twitter with his political opinions. We don't have to specify what the opinions are. If you were in the Mississippi State groups today, you know what we're talking about. The question that I have for you, Stubbs, is do we care that our football coach is a Trump supporter?
You know, I personally don't care. You know, you've touched on this before. Mm-hmm. He's there to coach football. You know, it spiked on Twitter last night because he was up in his recruiting, maybe drinking a little sauce. We don't know, from 2 to 4 a.m., you know, debating, you know, political views. And people knew that coming in, that if you ever followed Leach, you know, he is a talker.
He's more than a talker.
I poked the bear on my page. I didn't take it to the groups because, like I said, I try to keep the political groups out just because of that many people that are in there. I figured, hey, we can talk about it on my page. We talked about it in a couple of closed groups. And I already said before it happened, I said, guaranteed before lunchtime, those tweets are gone. And sure enough, you know, it's like you talked about it. I said, I was joking that either Cohen or somebody got a hold of him and said, hey, I'm going to need you to take that down. You know, Mississippi's, you know, we both know it is a red state. It's been a red state. But there is still a lot that goes on with that. And politics is one of those things that can quickly turn somebody completely turned off on that.
That's correct.
I don't care. I'll gladly tell you that I'm independent. I grew up as a Republican, but as more and more time went on, I don't always agree with everything, and so I look at who the best person is for the job. So I don't really
That's correct.
look at the truthfully. I wish more people would be like that. I wish there would get rid of the political parties, as we've talked about before. So to me, it doesn't. If he wants to rant and talk about that, all I care about in the end is how many W's you put in the column. And as long as politics don't interfere with the wins, you can talk whatever you want to talk about. You want to talk about pirates, you want to talk about Bigfoot, you want to post memes all the time. That's fine with me, but like I said, by 9:08, I'm pretty sure Cohen or somebody was in his ear and said, "We need you to take that down, buddy, and keep it to a minimum in the state." That's just me.
Right. Well, my opinion is similar to yours. I made a comment that I could care less who our football coach votes for. All I care about is how many wins he gets. I could care less if he comes to work in a chicken suit from the Struggle Ace movie. You remember Struggle Ace? You ever see that movie?
Why I laugh about that.
You never seen Struggle Ace?
No, I just laugh just because of chicken suit.
Bruh, you need to Google the chicken suit that Struggle Ace. It's a Burt Reynolds movie, dude. Burt Reynolds, Lonnie Anderson. I mean, you gotta watch that. You gotta watch. I'm a Burt Reynolds fan. All the Bandit movies I watched. The Longest Yard, old school Longest Yard, I watched. I mean, for fans listening to this, if you've seen Struggle Ace, y'all know what I'm talking about. Burt Reynolds had to dress up in a chicken suit. It's the funnest thing I ever saw. But if Coach Leach came to work in that chicken suit, as long as he wins football games, that's all I care about. Now, some of the opinions from my fellow group members, I did take into consideration. I definitely get it. I understand. You don't want to alienate recruits. You don't want to alienate parents. But the point that I was trying to make is everyone knows Mike Leach has a big mouth. Mike Leach speaks his mind. Mike Leach is going to cuss. Mike Leach is going to insult somebody. Mike Leach is not going to play by your rules. He's never played by anybody else's rules. Does it rub people the wrong way? Yes. Does it offend people sometimes? Yes. But the man wins football games. No, he hasn't won a national championship. No, he didn't win the Big 12 a lot. No, he didn't win the Pac-12 a lot. But guess what we're going to do at Mississippi State? We're going to throw the ball. We're going to have an offense that we've never had in my 30 years. Well, we had that a little bit with Dak. But we didn't have the Mike Leach type of passing offense at Mississippi State. In my 30 years as a Mississippi State fan, I'm so excited about this because all the passing records should fall during Mike Leach's tenure as Mississippi State head coach. They should be obliterated. Obliterated. So I don't want people to think that I'm a Trump supporter. I'm not. I am not a Trump supporter. But I'm like this. You know who we hired. You know his history, the issue at Texas Tech with Craig James' son. Yes, you can Google him and see who he supports. It's out there. It's public knowledge. Because it's on Twitter is not going to stop people from seeing who he supports or what he has done, the things he said to people. Some of those videos may rub people the wrong way. We have a good football head coach. Should he leave his political views outside of social media? I would say yes. But it's going to happen again. He's going to do something again. He's Mike Leach. I call him the Bobby Knight of football coaches. And you know how crazy Bobby Knight was, right?
Oh, most definitely.
He's the Bobby Knight of football coaches, man. I mean, the man, he speaks his mind and he doesn't care. Now, does it get him in trouble? Yes. it does get him in trouble. But he wins